I believe it is 5:15. I believe it's 5:15, Shelby.
Okay, sorry. This is
Okay,
multitasking.
here we go. Here we go.
Sorry.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay. Let's see. Okay.
I'd like to welcome everyone to our annual meeting and call the meeting to order. I am looking at the minutes from last year. We were actually, that was our last meeting in person. And it was on March 10, 2020. I would entertain a motion that we approve those minutes from last year's annual meeting, March 10. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved, Taylor Stuckert.
Thank you, Taylor. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second Harry Brumbaugh.
Thank you, Harry. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the motion passed. The treasurer's report. Let's see, you have from Patti Herron.
Hi. So as of December 31, 2020, the Historical Society had $1.5 million in assets. Most of that is cash. We have obviously some buildings and equipment, but most of it would be sitting in the form of cash. You know, 2020 wasn't a really great year because we really were not open. So a lot of our income comes from pass-throughs from those investment accounts. We did have a loan, a PPP loan, a payroll production loan for 2020, which was $16,300. We also received a grant, an EIDL grant of $2,000. And then we moved approximately $77,000 from our investment account to keep operating for the year. Our expenses really didn't go down. We still had to maintain staff and, you know, pay the bills. So it's been a difficult year, but we've gotten through it.
We did have to make some capital expenditures, didn't we, Patti, for like an air conditioning unit?
We did have several capital expenditures. It's an old building. We have capital expenditures every year. I'm not really sure right now what they all were, but yes, we did have some.
Okay. Are there any questions for Patti? If not, we'll move along to the Finance Committee report on budget. Stan, where did you go? I don't see Stan.
You lose me.
There he is.
I'm still here. I'm still here.
And Stan, the board of directors met at our regular meeting just last hour, and Stan presented a proposed budget, which was approved by the board. But if you would like to share that with those who are attending our meeting, that would be great.
I can just, in summary, we're expecting an income of $44,000 and direct expenses of $128,900, which leaves us obviously a deficit of $84,900, which of course we have money in the bank to cover that. So that's we don't have to worry about bankruptcy. So obviously we can see that our day-to-day or month-to-month income does not meet our expenses. So we do need to draw from our financial resources, which have been and are in deposit for us. Other than that, I don't think we need to say a whole lot more, other than some of the things that that we've spent money on. Of course, obviously, we've had some repairs he had to take care of. And actually, for the total for the year was quite a bit of money that we spent on the building, in the building, and so forth. So we were able to take care of that as we went along. But as far as it was just a little out of the ordinary on what monies we needed to expend on the facility.
We just have to take care of our old house. Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying? Yes. Are there any-
Yes.
All right, Stan, thank you for that. Nominating committee report, election of trustees, which we did, the board has recommended. And Tim Ruddick, would you like to read the nominating report on the election of the Board of Trustees? This for additional 3-year term for 4 people, 5 people, 5, so 4 people. Tim, or
Oh God, hold on, sorry.
okay,
we-
that's all right. I just
Absolutely.
didn't know whether Tim was here or not to make that report on the nominating committee.
Hold on 1 second. I think we've lost Tim, so I
Okay.
apologize. We do have a random iPhone here waiting, so I'm gonna let them in. Hopefully that's Tim.
All right.
Oh, it's Bev.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Okay,
Hi,
I think that we have lost Tim. So
Okay.
Taylor or Lauren, if you could speak on that, we would appreciate it.
Lauren, could you make the report? Or Taylor?
I'm here, Lauren.
Yeah, I can go ahead.
All right.
I
Okay.
thought I didn't know if Lauren's mic would come through. So I guess on behalf of the nominating committee, we reported that all 4 the trustees whose terms on the board have expired have agreed to return for another term. So that would be Harry Rumbaugh, Stan Hanna, Susan Henry, and Patti Herron were
Right.
nominated to be on the board.
Thank you. All right. Now, report of the executive director, Shelby.
Okay. This is fun, like multitasking. So we have a couple slides to share with you guys about what we completed in 2020. And to make mention that if you are not already a member, we are renewing our memberships beginning in March. So we would recommend that you guys do that. If you have not renewed yet, you can do that on our website, clintoncountyhistory.org, or if you got a newsletter in the mail, which we send these out quarterly. So as a member, you get these 4 times a year, and they are full of wonderful local history information. There was a renewal sheet in there. You can always call our office and I'm happy to help you sign up as a member. So 2020, who thought that we would be living through a pandemic? Not in 100 years. So we had to get really creative in 2020. We were forced to shut down by the governor's orders early, about spring, until I believe it was June of 2020. So we were closed for about 3 months, absolutely no income, but we still maintained our staff through the Paycheck Protection Loan that we received. We started focusing on online events. So we did our women's suffrage event in October. We really pushed social media. We pushed our website. I got really tech savvy. And we developed a history marker guidebook that families could do while staying safe in their cars. And they could travel around Clinton County and visit all of the historical markers that are through the Ohio History Connection. That was very successful. That is on our website. And that was actually The Ohio History Connection communicated to me that they would love to see this as a state standard for every county. They reviewed my guidebook and really enjoyed it. So that gave us some positivity in the midst of COVID. We also earned a digitization grant through the Ohio Local History Alliance, which you'll see on this screen, to digitize our Eli Harvey collection and make that accessible online. Obviously, in the new age of COVID, people were not coming in. This project will be housed on the Ohio Memory, ohiomemory.org. And we're partnering with Ohio History Connection to digitize our large format paintings and sketches, which you can see in those top photos. So we're really excited about this. The Eli Harvey collection has never been digitized in complete or even 50% capacity. So we are probably close to about 75% digitized, and we hope to wrap up that project this year. We also reached 2,000 likes on our social media, which was pretty exciting. We welcomed Creeping Baby back home from Spain. If you guys remember, she was sent abroad in 2015 as part of a robot exhibit. She is a prehistoric robot. You could wind her up and she'll creep on the floor. And she came home via Spain and got delivered to my front door, which was pretty exciting. So we're going to be recognizing Creeping Baby in this year in our exhibit. And we were planning to do a renaming ceremony in 2020, but that got delayed. So maybe we'll rename her this year. I also graduated from grad school and now have my degree in public history, which is pretty exciting for the museum. We developed a YouTube page in 2020, obviously becoming digital, which was really fun. You can see me in a lot of costumes on there. We, right before COVID hit, partnered with WAMA, which is the Wilmington Area Ministerial Association, and Tom Stevenson to do a Black History Month event where we had a living history interpreter come to the Murphy Theater. We were hoping to do that again this year, but COVID, obviously. So that was a very successful event. The local schools actually got to come for free through scholarships and got to learn about Aunt Jemima and the actual woman who portrayed her. Her name was Nancy Green. We had some very successful partnerships. Our first partnership being with LCNB Bank. They kind of contracted with us to do historical photos in their lobby. And since then, that project or that need has really skyrocketed, and we've done projects for ATI. We're going to be working potentially with the General Denver Hotel. We've done some for the Clinton County Convention and Visitors Bureau. So you can see Bev and I, our collections manager, pictured with one of the photos. So that was a really exciting and fun project that we got to work on right before COVID hit. If you guys remember, a year ago, this past weekend was Outstanding Women of Clinton County, and I was the keynote speaker. I got to speak on women's history and especially Clinton County women, which was a real honor. And that was our last big social outing before everyone got quarantined. And then finally, we also had a political exhibit that not a whole lot of people got to see because obviously they weren't visiting. But we did put a lot of heart and soul into that. And we did branch out to do a small digital exhibit where we photographed a lot of political campaign ribbons and tickets, different memorabilia. And that's on our website if you'd like to check that out. We had some wonderful volunteers come visit us in the summer and take care of our kind of overgrowthed area between us and another property near the street. So we really thank them. They were wonderful. And then we got some new shelving courtesy of the Antique Power Club. So Bev and I put that together while we were quarantined and couldn't have anybody visit us. So we now have a brand new storage room full of wonderful shelves that we can put our acid-free boxes on. So you can see those pictured in that photo behind Bev. In the corner is me standing next to our history markers. That was part of our guidebook. And then we also have our wonderful staff wearing masks, which we implemented when we returned from our shutdown in June. So a crazy year for sure, but we learned a lot and kind of learned how we can still help the community even if people can't necessarily visit. We are definitely missing our in-program or in-person ticketed events like our teas and just our living history days. I miss those so much, but we are really hopeful that maybe toward the end of 2021, the fall, we can do some outside events and then, really hit the ground running in 2022. And then before I finish, just to remind you all that we are on Amazon Smile and Kroger Community Rewards. So if you're not familiar with these, Amazon Smile, actually both of them and Kroger, they don't cost you anything to participate in, and they only benefit us in the long run. You must shop at smile.amazon.com each time. It's the same website, but they're going to give us a donation with each percent of your purchase. And then our Kroger NPO number is 82807. You can go to kroger.com/community rewards. You can create an account and then you can select us to benefit from your additional Kroger Plus reward points. So again, neither one of these cost you a dime, but they really benefit us in the long run. And I know just on Amazon Smiles for 2020, we got over $100 of free money. So just keep that in mind. I'm looking at my notes here. We would definitely welcome you guys back to the History Center this year. We're going to be reopening April 16th and 17th. It's the third Friday and Saturday in April. We had to postpone just because of some illnesses and unpredictable events going on. So we didn't want to open during Easter. We'll be opening the 16th and 17th. Our hours will be Fridays and Saturdays. Fridays 1 to 4 and Saturdays 10 to 2. We've tried to alter those to meet the community demand while also still being able to stay open with limited staff and limited volunteers. We've really seen a reduction in those, especially in 2020, because our volunteers don't feel comfortable potentially being exposed. So we're just working with what we have, but we're positive for what's to come. So thank you.
Thank you, Shelby. As you can see, she doesn't stop, even though we've had to stop. We really appreciate her. We really appreciate you, Shelby. Thank you so much. And can't wait to have a coming home party for Creeping Baby.
Definitely.
Can't wait for that.
Look forward to see her again.
Yes. Other committee reports. I have a short report, and I'll give Christine a little bit longer because she's got a lot. She's done a lot. Our bylaws that we had been written in 2002, and so we met Harry and Christine, and Harry Brumbaugh, Christine Snyder, and myself. We met at least 4 times and to revise our bylaws. And I'm not going to read all 8 pages.
And I was there too.
Oh, I'm sorry, Susan, you were. I
Yeah.
apologize. My goodness. I had it in my notes, but I just didn't read it out to you. It was really kind of fun. And we had a lot of detail work. And one of the things we did was we reviewed the duties of the Board of Trustees, meetings requirements, agendas. The agenda today that we're having is literally lifted right out of those bylaws that we wrote. And we also included a provision for electronic meetings and voting, which was not in our bylaws. And so we've done a lot of that this year. We reviewed and reestablished the duties of officers and committees. And we also, when we did that, we allowed us how that it would be good to have committee members to come in from the outside and be a part of the committees. They'd have to be a member of the society. And I'm hoping in the future, as our new program year begins next month, that we can do more with our committees and follow those bylaws. And hopefully we can all get together and look at one another for real. Who knows? We restated our memberships and dues and our dues year. And so the year has started. We also specified something that was never in our bylaws, was addressing the strong relationship we have with the Clinton County Genealogical Society, and noted that as we looked at it from an organizational standpoint, that it is a member of the Ohio Genealogical Society. They have their own officers and members, but they are a part of the Historical Society, and they exist under our bylaws as well. And they enjoy our 501, use our 501c3 qualification with the IRS. And so there are other listings in those bylaws of that relationship, but this is the first time we'd ever done that as a part of our bylaws. So that's really sort of in a nutshell what we did. There's more. I'm sure those on the committee would agree that we did a lot more. And I apologize again, Susan, it was written here and I just didn't do it. So are there any questions about the bylaws committee? All right. Christine. Strategic plan. Is Christine here?
Uh-oh. Hold on.
I am unmuted.
Oh, good. There she is. Oh, good.
Okay. Do you want to put faces on the screen?
Yeah, I can. Yep. Hold on one second. How's that?
That's better. Now I can see you all better. All right. I have a report which I'm submitting to the minutes. But and so I will paraphrase it. Strategic planning. Some people love it, some people hate it, and some people never pay attention to the ones that are handed to them. So we're going to cure that about our society this year. Over the past few years, there's been a lot of talk about strategic planning, as there's been some consulting. Our new director even put together a model strategic plan as part of her master's dissertation when she completed her graduate work from Northern Kentucky University. So we're not starting from scratch here. So what we have done, though, is make the decision to move forward and actually complete the plan and then to implement the plan. So the first thing we did was as Suzanne just reported, we revised our bylaws. We got our basic structure caught up to to our current practice, or what we think our current practice should be. So we did that first, and then we rewrote our mission and vision statement, which is part of your very basic documentation for an organization. And we also said that the new bylaws, that we will review the new bylaws when we finished our strategic plan to make sure that there would be consistency between the two documents. So then once the bylaws were finished, then the president appointed a new committee to move the strategic plan forward. So that committee was myself as chair, Suzanne, Madison as president, and Lauren Risk and Tim Ruddick. So we met together on September 5th for a planning meeting. And so we were the committee to plan the plan. And so the strategy that we decided on was that the board would be the committee of the whole, and we would meet once a month on a Saturday morning on Zoom for an hour. So that is what we have pursued since that time. So we began, number one thing was to look at the mission and vision. And we agreed as a committee that they were appropriate for the time that we are in. Then we looked at what the steps need to be to prepare to do a plan. And so one of those steps was to do a SWOT analysis, and the other step was to do a constituent survey. So we carried out those two steps. A SWOT analysis, if you haven't done one, S is for strengths. So you think about the strengths that your organization has. We made a list of those. Our internal strengths, the positive things that we have and we are as an organization. The W is the weaknesses. Those are the things that we need to work on, need to strengthen. The O is for opportunities. So we looked around that in the community, in our environment, the places where we could be doing more. And the threats, those are the aspects of our environment, of our community, which make things difficult, the obstacles, the problems. So we worked on that SWOT, the 4-part document, and we published that document to the board. So we have that as part of our resources. So the next thing we tackled was our constituent survey. So that took 2 parts. One was identification of the audiences that we wanted to ask an opinion. And then the big part was the putting together of the survey itself. And Shelby had some experience in that from her coursework for her master's degree. And so Shelby, with collaboration with the board, put together a questionnaire. And this was directed to the community, and we identified different segments of the community to whom we would send that survey and ask for their response. And so the survey was prepared electronically and sent out to many, many people. It showed up on Facebook, so anybody could answer it. We asked board member Keith Orhel to distribute it to the faculty at Wilmington College. Thanks for doing that. So we had several audience groups, and then of course we pulled our own membership. We even sent them a paper copy to make sure they had an opportunity to send that back in. So we tried to ask questions that people could provide us with useful information on what they thought we should be doing, how we've been doing, and what things we should be doing to serve the community and to fulfill our mission. So that process has been going on in the end of the year and the beginning of this year. The deadline was March 1st. And as Shelby just reported, that we had a good response. And so the next step will be our meeting on March 20th, a 9 to 10 a.m. Saturday meeting of the board as a whole. And we will be looking at the responses and reviewing those responses. And then the next step will be to take those community responses and turn them into goals as part of our strategic plan. We have also looked at Shelby's model strategic plan for the organization, and we're going to make just a few changes. We added a category to her plan. We added a category of board governance to her 7 chapters of the plan, because we could see a need for board training, board evaluation, more fiscal responsibility and financial transparency. So the 8 parts of our strategic plan are going to be: number 1 is administration and management. Number 2 is going to be board governance. Number 3 is development, fundraising. Number 4, facilities, buildings and grounds. Number 5, education and programming. Number 6, exhibitions and events. Number 7, collections management. And number 8, community engagement and public relations. So we're dividing up our focus areas into those 8 chapters. And each of those 8 chapters, then we will develop our goals. Some will be short-term, some will be long-term. Our plan is a 5-year plan. So we will make lists of our goals and objectives, and we will put a timeline on those goals. And we will also put budget numbers on those goals as we go forward with our annual budgeting. So that's where we are in that process. Next step, looking at the community response, and then use those answers to start fleshing out the framework of our strategic plan. So within the next few months, we should have a 5-year plan that has a list of goals and objectives attached to a timeline and a budget. And we hope to be putting that into operation by the middle to end of this year. So we have high hopes that we will be able to expand our membership, increase our finances, improve our collections, maintain our beautiful building and grounds, and serve the community to fulfill our mission.
Thank you, Christine. We have nothing to do, of course. But I think the survey is so exciting, and it's something that it's interesting. I just received a survey from another historical organization in another city. So I thought we got there first, and our survey is a very good survey. I can't wait to share it with the whole board, share it, and then share it with the community, obviously. So. Is there any old business? Any new business? Then we shall adjourn this annual meeting and hope that the next time we have a meeting, we can have it in person. And we look forward to seeing as many as possible on the 24th to come. We're going to, we've been gifted a tree, and we'll be planting a tree in our side yard. So put that on your calendar. So we are adjourned, and thanks for coming.
And
Thank you.
Just to let you guys know, you can stay up to date with us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube by searching at Clinton County History, our website, clintoncountyhistory.org, or on Throwback Thursday with the Wilmington News Journal. Hopefully you guys are enjoying those. So thanks for tuning in.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.
Oh, shit.